guys. It's a pleasure to be here at Blog. So on my left I have Siong, and then there's Dave, and then there's Roshan. So I'm very curious, like about the startup community in Silicon Valley and San Francisco itself. How do you three of you knit? Because it is through Siong that I get to know about Blog, and I get to meet Dave and also Roshan. So what is the story of your start to build your relationship in startup scene?
So I met both of them through Jared, which is my co-founder right now. Yeah, but I don't actually remember where we met and how we met.
Okay.
Well, we all went to the same school.
Yeah, but we all went to the same school.
Yeah.
So do you guys hang out or?
Once in a while.
Whenever we're in Palo Alto, we hang out, and whenever they come up to San Francisco,
Yeah.
they usually give us a shout, and we go for a drink or something.
Do you guys have a favorite place that normally you guys would hang out at?
Jared, whenever Jared comes up, and whenever he's with anybody, we usually meet at a place called The Attic, which is a bar on 24th Street.
It's really, really dimly lit.
Yeah.
It likes to have this red lighting and dark and grungy.
Yeah, it's just kind of a tradition, I guess. And then afterwards, we go to Taqueria Cancun.
Yeah.
So what do you guys work on like right now? Like you work at Blog, you work on Wednesday night. Do you guys work like 24/7? Because that's kind of like my perception of about people in startup. You like work a lot and just keep on hacking away. The other day I met one of Seung's friends. He said that it's his off day, but then he's working on a certain project, side project, and challenging himself. It's still about programming. So he didn't really run away from, even though off day is still working on programming itself. So how do you, each of you try to balance it up, or do you actually have a clear distinction between work, programming, and then at the sideline you have certain stuff that you love working on?
I go to gym.
Okay.
So then I start picking up like skateboarding like recently. Yeah. I might try to hack like an electric skateboard myself, but I haven't started yet. Maybe one day.
Still, you're still talking about you want to try to hack. Still, there's a certain thing that you can really run away from what you love doing.
It's at least like something different than what I'm doing. So hacking on hardware, then hacking on the software. Yeah.
And Dave, how do you try to balance up your between your time with Blog and then probably you have some personal time that you have certain interests that you like to pursue?
Yeah, sure. I like programming a lot in general. I think I'm very lucky, as I think we all are, to be able to program at work. And so when it comes to coding, it's kind of sometimes hard to draw the line where the work stops and the fun begins. Yeah, I think most good programmers have side projects that they like working on. I think we all here have those.
But what do you do other than?
Oh,
What do
other
you
than
do
work,
other than
sure. I like. Recently, I've been doing backpacking a little bit. I've taken 2 or 3 trips lately. Let's see. I read a lot. I read a lot of books. That sort of waxes and wanes depending on what I'm reading. It's sometimes demotivating to try to read something that's not very enjoyable.
Do you actually finish it when you don't like the book?
I don't know. Sometimes
Really?
it depends on my energy level and all sorts, the moon and all sorts of
Are
things.
you
I
like,
don't
yeah,
know.
I'm not going to.
I usually don't finish something.
Yeah.
I usually don't finish something if I'm not interested in it. But
Yeah.
sometimes I feel guilty if I don't finish it. So, yeah.
Do you have any- Sorry.
I go to bars a lot at night with friends. I have like a thing I do every Tuesday with friends at a specific bar. We go to trivia night at Mad Dog in the Fog. I play Go with my roommate at our local watering hole, Iron and Gold. Sometimes they have movie Mondays. A lot of social life in San Francisco, at least, right, revolves around bars, which everything in moderation, right? So.
Roshan?
Yeah, so Dave and I used to disagree about this a lot, actually, the whole work-life balance question. I think, especially in Silicon Valley, it's kind of fetishized for you to be this person who can put in 100-hour work weeks. There's this one guy, Elon Musk, that everyone talks about, and he just like constantly talks about how he puts in 100 hours a week, and that's the secret to his success, is that he's just this machine. And I used to think that that was something that was possible and also a necessity to start a successful startup, but I've since changed my mind about that. I think the hardest thing about doing a startup is managing your own psychology, and fighting burnout and fighting the inevitable depression when things don't work out. And a lot of times those kind of things are just outside of your control. And so really the best thing you can do is kind of force yourself to have some work-life balance. And you don't have to go to the opposite side of the spectrum where you're working 30 hours a week, but I don't know, forcing yourself to get out of the office by like 6 p.m. or something. And I personally like try to get in, I don't know, 3 or 4 days of like playing basketball whenever I go home and do something completely unrelated from work. That helps a lot.
So you do have some outdoor activity, and you as well. You say backpacking. So you go to gym. It's still indoor.
I mean, I do skateboarding right now, so it's
Oh,
outdoor.
you started to pick it up.
Yeah, I've been doing it for like a month or two right now.
And you do cycling as well, or
I cycle like to everywhere.
you cycle everywhere because that's your main transportation.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
how you travel in
Yeah.
the city. What about you guys? How do you guys travel around in the city?
I'd say public transportation. I've been thinking about buying a bicycle because it's San Francisco and everybody has a bicycle, but
You want to stand out? You don't want a bicycle?
yeah, I don't know. It's mostly just laziness, I think. Yeah, I take Uber cab a lot too, probably too much. It's just so convenient.
But it's good to exercise. Exercise is
Yeah,
important, no?
yeah, it definitely is. I've been trying to exercise. It waxes and wanes, right? Like, it's typical, right? You try to start on a routine, and then you're all gung ho about it up front, and then you sort of the motivation tapers off. But I try to do P90X, and I've not been keeping up with it as much as I should. But
Then now we should talk about diet. So we have
Diet.
we have this big plate of
Fruits
fruits
and
here, which
cakes.
is very healthy. But then next to
I'm
it
drinking a
we have-
V8.
Yeah, so from, I don't know, probably from my narrow understanding, you guys tend to, when you are in front of computers, tend to probably just live off like probably pizza or probably just snacks or cookies or whatever, I don't know. So what is it, do you see any trend in the challenge community in Silicon Valley and San Francisco where there are more and more health conscious people? So how is it like currently? When it started, when do you see that more and more people just start pick up the trend of, hey, we should stop taking pizza too much? Or,
So there's this thing called Soylent.
sorry?
Soylent?
Yeah. So it's like this drink that you drink
Uh-huh.
and you don't have to eat at
Really?
all. Yeah.
It
You
has
think it
it
works?
has the full nutritional value of everything you need to survive. Supposedly, it's
Yeah.
just like some guy who made
Is
it.
it a startup product?
Yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
He did it for himself originally, and then he turned it into a Kickstarter project, right?
Yeah.
So a bunch of people paid him. They funded him to continue working and productize it and commercialize it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So originally, he just did it for himself. And
I
now
think they
it's-
raised like 250,000 for
So
that.
it works? Have you tried?
I haven't tried it myself.
No.
I haven't tried it either. I don't know.
It's highly contentious. People don't know if it works or not because he's not like a nutritional expert.
He's just
So-
an
But there
engineer.
are people, I mean, he successfully raised funds, right? Is that?
Yeah, so people
pre-order.
believe him. So like it sounds credible. He explains like all the ingredients he uses and like the theory behind it. And he claims that he's been using it for a while, right? And that
I mean, there are some good reviews online, like people who had tried it out. But I heard some friends who try it out and they say the taste is like really bad.
The taste is really bad.
Yeah.
Well, probably because it's, you know, when people
For obvious
say-
reasons. Yeah.
I actually pre-ordered it, so I
Oh,
will
you
get
did?
it. Yeah.
Okay, so once you try it out, you have to let us know.
Yeah, I will let you guys know.
I found though that like the stereotype of eating pizza and drinking Coke while coding is something out of Hollywood. I mean, it's not exactly a stereotype, a false stereotype, because there are a lot of very unhealthy programmers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there has definitely been a swing back to like, look, we actually do have a massive thing of fruit here, right? We do eat it. It's not full because we don't eat it. It's full because it's a fresh order that just came in.
Okay.
But it's pretty balanced, I think. I think if you
And
look
people
at our
start
cupboards,
doing
we
like
have protein
standing
bars.
desks. Yeah, people start doing like standing desks.
Standing
Yeah,
by?
yeah.
Standing desks. So you stand while you work.
Right,
Yeah.
yes. Do you guys do it here?
We were going to convert that desk over there into one, but we haven't.
Standing desk.
Every once in a while, somebody will.
When did it start? I see it in Malaysia as well. There are some programmers that really just set up their desks. and
Some
then
people even go
stand.
crazy about it. They have like a treadmill underneath it.
Oh
So,
my
yeah.
God. How do you?
Yeah.
Can they
Still
focus
does,
while
yeah.
you're?
Yeah, they actually do a slow walking when they.
Slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe that people do that. I've never seen it with my own eyes. I don't know.
I think it's not that surprising if you think about programmers. A big driving force behind like the programmer mentality is all about productivity and automating things that you don't like doing and being at peak performance. And people have learned that like sound body, sound mind is a real thing. So programmers are actually really into taking care of themselves. I don't know when it started. It's always been a thing in California though, like the whole vegan craze has been like a California thing for a really long time.
Silly
I don't really know how
hippies.
it got into programming culture, but it's definitely there now.
Yeah.
And once you're in, you never think of, at least in use, currently will not think of, okay, I'm going to stop programming. You won't do that right, at this stage. And once you're in, you just feel like, okay, I love this adrenaline rush. I don't want to ever live this.
Most of the time. I use junk food as like comfort food, so when I get
Junk
like
food.
super stressed out, I'll still eat like junk food, but that's only once a month kind of thing.
I had a pizza last night. I'll admit, I ate pizza yesterday.
I have like KFC yesterday.
So unhealthy food. But then talking about, okay, then moving on next. Now, Siong, you're working on something like online dating. I would really love to bring this, put it on the table and talk about this. Because yes, when I spoke to Siong and Jared, they've been saying that there is, you guys see the market opportunity where there is a need to help out, especially tech geeks or guys, and probably some of the girls to, matchmake and get them some mentorship and all that. Well, while you guys are programming, as a programmer, do you guys face any face any challenges in?
Are you asking us about our dating
in
lives?
Yeah, that's what she's going to ask.
Very
Sure.
You need to go into detail, just like whether
Sure.
or not you find it difficult.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like time for dating. I think that's the biggest thing.
My family gives me crap every time I go home or I see them. Like any girls in your life, and I always sort of roll my eyes and say no. And it's not because yeah, I think this is actually a unique thing in San Francisco. To be honest, I think everywhere else I've gone, it's not as.
Bad.
It's not to say that it's difficult. I don't think it's difficult. I think it's just a question of priorities. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people would rather. It's kind of crazy, but a lot of people would rather be building the passions of their lives rather than dating right now
Yeah.
in San Francisco.
That's actually true.
Your time is the most important thing, and
So when would you guys start to think about it then?
well, think about it. You
What-
constantly think about it. Like, we're human beings, right? But
What if you work until in your 30s and then you have your successful company then, and then you have your IPO and all that? Would then you start to think about it? You never really think about it, right? This question.
I think about it in terms of learning. I think about it in terms of at some point I'll have learned enough that I can, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm still learning a lot, and learning is my priority right now. At some point, my priorities will shift, and
True. agree
I
with
think.
that. Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows though. I think.
I don't really know.
Are you the youngest among the three of them?
I don't know.
I'm 26.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Sim? You haven't really comment about
Mm,
dating.
for me, it's alright. I don't really care about it right now. Yeah.
Why?
There are
Right.
more important things to do than
Okay.
dating for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, but then your product itself, your service is trying to solve this,
I mean, Jared did try out the product, so
Okay.
it works for him.
Okay.
I think there's a perceived imbalance in San Francisco. I think people who are trying to date seriously, I think they probably do have more trouble in San Francisco than they would elsewhere. I think it's obvious.
Trouble meaning? Trouble in this
Probably a microcosm of the world. It's always hard finding somebody that you mesh well with and that you're compatible with or whatever. But I think I don't know. Just
Well, they say that dating in San Francisco is especially hard for guys because it's full of all these tech geek dude programmers. and there's just like this huge gender imbalance there. Like most of what we do is like programming and computer science, which is like notorious for not having enough women in it. So I don't know, there could just be like a huge balance mismatch.
But what if probably there's a girl that works in terms of she's a UI designer, for example, and just doesn't necessarily saying that she has a creative eye, she can contribute to the company. In this sector, is there also a lack in terms of gender-wise? Is there less of women as well in terms of
In UI design field?
Yeah.
Probably not. It's probably mostly just programming and
So there,
engineering.
I can start dating someone.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's less specifically about your occupation and more about how you meet these people. Right? If you're a programmer, you work a lot,
Yeah.
probably, right? And if you're spending your time programming, you're going to be spending your time with other programmers, right? And a lot of times, that's just absent. There are a very, very low number of girls, but it's kind of backwards, I think. You don't want to go to work to meet girls, to date, and to get married and have family or whatever. That's kind of.
But when you go
weird,
to bars with your friends, what do you guys talk about? You guys still talk about girls, right? Talk about work and girls, or is it just plainly just about programming? Hey, I have this problem. How do I solve it? How do you solve it?
We talk about Ruby on Rails and Go and PHP and
I think it would be depressing to see how often the conversations do revolve around work and programming. At least for me, the people I tend to go to bars with will sit and argue about something for an hour, and then we'll talk about a TV show or something.
You guys have time for TV?
I don't have cable, but I do watch TV shows every once in a while. I don't follow many.
It depends, like Breaking Bad, like the new one. Like,
I watch old episodes of House a lot because I like House.
You don't really watch TV?
TV shows.
Do you have the time for it?
I do. Yeah, I don't know. I watch the same kind of stuff occasionally. But yeah, I don't know. The whole work-life balance thing is still fairly new to me. So there's still like a really long period of block where literally never go out, never go to bars, working weekdays, working weekends, and I was trying to do the whole 80, 100-hour weekday thing. And that's really only ended recently, and I'm still like, I have all this free time now, and I still don't really know what to do with it yet. I filled part of it with basketball, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's trying to start it out.
Yeah, it's weird switching back to doing other things that aren't your strong. You almost have to force yourself to do it because it'll be healthier for you in the long run.
it depends. Like for me, like only following like a few shows, like Game of Thrones just finished. Then now I'm like watching like Newsroom and Breaking Bad.